I would say you can't take more than 2 dribbles when you're driving. Someone's going to be in a gap. They're always known as a very, very good defensive team. So I think, we're going to have to stick to the game plan, and one dribble, kick it out is going to have to be something that we're going to have to get used to.
And then I also want to ask about James Gardner and the type of player that he is.
Yeah. He excels in the mid-range. So, with that specific offense, it makes it a little bit more difficult, especially if you have a big that can kind of stretch it out a little bit. But, I always look forward to playing good players. We've had some battles last year, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing this year.
Go to Adam Lichtenstein from the Sun Sentinel. Hey, Jordan. This just came out a few minutes ago. You guys moved up a couple spots to, I think, number 22 right now. Does that those rankings and anything, does that mean anything to you guys? Do you care? Or is it just like, okay, cool, on to the next thing?
I would say it's definitely cool. It's a token to our hard work. However, down the stretch, we want to play in the NCAA tournament. We want to win the national championship. Last year when we played Auburn, I believe they were 1 or 2 or something like that. So I think rankings mean nothing. It just comes out to how you play that night, because any team can beat any team on any given night.
We'll go to Alex Petracci.
Hey, Jordan. You and Isaiah have really taken a big step just from on the court and in a leadership standpoint. I was wondering if you can speak on what Isaiah has improved in the most and stepped up with, and same goes with you. What have you done this season that has really been a big change in comparison to last year?
As far as Isaiah, I think he's done a really good job showing that he can do more than just score the basketball. The other game, he had 10 assists. The game before that, he had 8 with 0 turnovers. And that's huge. Being able to show, you can do more than just one particular thing and kind of be a jack of all trades is always something that's positive. As far as me, I think just the confidence in my three-point shot and not shying away if I miss a couple. And obviously leadership. I think this team needs leadership. I call myself the leader of this team and making sure that everyone's, connected. And, the vibes are always good. And, if we're down however much, that we stay together.
Go to Preston Willett from CBS 19 in Charlottesville.
Hey, Jordan. You got asked about the rankings earlier. Just wanted to ask you. I asked Coach earlier, and he was shocked by it. It's the first ranked ACC matchup in 22 months, so there's not been one since you've been in the ACC. Just kind of, does that surprise you just about where the ACC is at? And you played a couple ACC games already. Just where do you think this conference is right now?
It does surprise me. That's my first time hearing it too. That's exciting. I think, it speaks volumes for the ACC. I feel like people last year and a little bit this year think the ACC is in a little bit of a down year, or we're not as good as we used to be. But, I think every team in this league can play. I think with this game coming up and us both opponents being ranked, I think it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a war. It's going to come down to every single possession counting. Turnovers, all the little stuff that go into a basketball game. I think both teams are going to have to be very, very sharp, and whoever's the sharpest, I think, will come out victorious.
Go to Michelle Coughlin from the Miami Herald.
Hey, Jordan. Thanks for taking the time with us. After last season, a lot of people wondered, if there would be a slide because you lost 3 really key players from that team, leaders, and, Charlie Moore and Cam and Sam. Are you surprised at all with how well the team has done so far to start? I mean, are you even surprising yourselves by the 11-1 record?
I wouldn't say I was surprised. Last year, we didn't have anybody leave or into the transfer portal, and a lot of those returning players, me and Zay were starters, but even people coming off the bench, they've got minutes in the tournament, and that's experience. And experience always goes a long way. I think we obviously got some very big transfers. And for me, it's always been this offseason, we've had a lot of guys put up extra work before and after practice. A lot of guys do both. So it doesn't necessarily surprise me because I've seen night in and night out how much work each individual player puts in towards their game so the team can be successful.
Thank you.
Go to Zuby Charles from Kane Sport.
Hey, Jordan, just kind of going off what Michelle said, what have you been most impressed with this team this season?
I would say just how talented we are offensively. I knew we were in the beginning of the season. I was trying to see the vision, what this team could be, what our identity would be. But I think we score the ball at a very, very high level. However, for us to be the team we want to be and be national champions, we definitely need to improve on our defense and our rebounding on both sides of the floor. Right now that's a big thing we're focused on because we know we can score the amount of points to win a game. But I think what it's going to come down to is can we get enough stops to win the games we need to win.
Go to Mike Barber from the Richmond Times-Dispatch.
You mentioned how good you guys have been offensively. You lead the ACC in assists per game. You're second in the league in field goal percentage. What is it about the way you play, the chemistry, the approach that has led to you guys getting each other kind of unselfishly such good shots?
I think we just have so many people that can score, and assist is somebody passing to someone who can score. Obviously, you know that, but I think having so many people being able to put the ball in the basket makes it easier for people to get assists. That's how I would sum it up.
Does Coach emphasize kind of the idea of passing up a good shot for a great shot? Do you talk a lot about shot selection, or is that not an emphasis?
I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, all of our practices basically have been focused on defense. Obviously, we tackle offense very little, but I believe the coaching staff and we know as a team that we're a good offensive team. But like I mentioned, we need to get the stops. And so a lot of our practices, I would say, have been 95% defense.
Good stuff. Thank you.
All right, got one final hand up. We'll go back to Luke Cheney to wrap it up.
Hey again, Jordan. So you mentioned how improvements need to be made defensively. And I'm just curious, man, like, what are the exact areas defensively that need to get better for your team to reach the level where, you want it to reach?
I think being able to guard our yard, so guarding 3 feet or 3 steps to your left and right when someone puts the ball on the ground. We try to play the pack defense. I think we still need to grow. And obviously we're not the biggest team, so we scramble. We trap ball screens, and we have a lot of new pieces, important pieces. So trying to make sure our rotations are there. Being in the gaps in rotations, I think, are the biggest thing, and being able to guard the ball. Again, that just comes with experience. And I think, as the season progresses, I think obviously we're going to get better at that, but we have to make sure we can make progress quickly, and that's how we would see success.
All right, Jordan, thank you very much for your time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
Recording stopped.
Thanks, everyone.